So I kind of fell off the MCU this year. Like, I used to be super, super into the MCU. Like, from, I think it would be Infinity War onward. I watched every single thing when it came out, with the exception of Eternals, I think. Like, I saw a bunch of MCU stuff in theaters, watched at 2 a.m. when they came out, all of these Disney Plus shows, and this year I stopped doing that. I fell off the MCU. I haven't seen Secret Invasion. I haven't seen the Marvels. I stopped watching because of Quantumania, because I watched it and it was very not good. It was, I think it's the worst thing I've seen in the MCU. And I'm still, I don't know, I still might go back and watch other things because, it's part of the series and I do like a lot of the series. And if I gotta watch a show that's kind of like a C to make a movie that's an A better, I don't know. I don't know. But the point is, I'm kind of rethinking that because I finally watched Loki. I skipped it. I skipped it when it came out. I thought the first season of Loki was decent. I liked it. But I didn't, because I'm kind of off the MCU, I didn't go out of my way to watch the second season. But then I saw a meme on YouTube that's like, oh, OMG, they didn't say OMG because it's not 2012, but goddamn, they let Loki cook. And like, okay, fine, I'll go watch Loki. And it was so good. Oh my, it was, oh my, it was so good. Oh god, Loki, season two, I really, really like Loki season two. It was just a good time travel show. It was the thing I realized as I'm watching this is that this didn't need to be part of the MCU. Like, Kang and Loki are characters from other MCU stuff, but like, you could have very easily written that show to just be a time travel drama sci-fi show and it would have worked just as well. And honestly, I kind of like that. I think it being more distant from the MCU does help it a bit. Like Loki's character development in that his arc is completely detached from his arc in the rest of the MCU because he's not even the same character. He's 2012 Loki. Like, he didn't go through all of his character development in the Thor movies. Um, but like, God, it just the second half of the second season of Loki. Once we get Loki in a time loop trying to fix everything back together, it was just good. And that finale was impeccable. I really enjoyed Loki. And now I kind of want to watch the Marvels because, wait, MCU good? But I heard that that was just kind of okay. I mean, what I've heard about it is that the plot's kind of a mess, but there's good chemistry between three leads, which is what I expected, and maybe I'll catch it sometime, but I'm not going out of my way for MCU. I'm only watching stuff that gets good reviews because I'm respecting myself this year. Oh, by the way, hi, this is Nuzlocke Vlogs where I'm playing Pokemon and I'm talking about life and things I've seen and done. And how's it going, everyone? You can't respond, but what we're doing right now is we're going through Galactic HQ. I'm hoping. I know the Razor Claw's in here. I know I can get a Weavile in here. I just don't. Oh, that's a funny line of dialogue where he's like, if I was the dumb guy from the first game, I would just drop the key, but I don't have the key. Yeah. So in these videos, I talk about what's going on with my channel, and I'm kind of in a video on my main channel, because this is my second channel. I'm kind of in a video lull these last 2 months of the year. I only have 2 more videos I'm doing this year because I'm working on my big Christmas video essay, which will be a 3-hour video essay about Disney movies, which is going good. I broke it down into like 16 different chunks to record, and I've recorded the first 5, and I fully edited the first 3 and half of the fourth. The part that I'm editing now has the Dark Age films. It has Sword in the Stone, Robin Hood, and The Black Cauldron. And I just this afternoon recorded the Little Mermaid bit. And work's going good. Slow but good. I should get it out on time. I'm on a good pace for it. And, I think it'll be a good video essay. Also, I gotta finish Torchbearers with that big finale, but I've got that written. And I've also done most of the research for the first video essay I'm doing next year, which is gonna be all the times Batman has tried to murder his friends. Like, gonna be like Tower of Babel and Justice League Doom and Batman Endgame. Like, all of these plans Batman's come up with over the years for how we can defeat other superheroes. And if you look into them, you'll notice like half of them are just terrible, terrible plans that would never work. Like, the whole point of this video is like people put Batman on the pedestal, like, oh god, he's the smartest superhero ever. He can beat anyone in a fight with prep time. But if you actually look with his record with prep time, no, he can't. He gets his ass kicked constantly. He gets like, there are a bunch of stories where Batman with prep time manages to fight Superman to a draw. But like, one of the stories that I read, it wasn't on my list of things to read. It was just like it was in like, because one of the stories I'm talking about is the OMAC project, and that I'm reading from the Infinite Crisis Omnibus, which has that packed in because that was what I could find in a library. And in the middle of the OMAC project, that compilation puts what's it called? I think it's Superman Sacrifice, but the story where Maxwell Lord does. And just like, I'm in the middle of this video project that's just going over all the times that Batman like fights Superman, and he has prep time and he comes up with these good plans, and then just in the middle of that, reading a story where Batman goes up against Superman without any prep time, and Superman, without breaking a sweat, breaks every bone in his body. Just like, he flicks Batman and Batman ends up in a coma, is how bad this defeat is. And one of the stories I read was the Sixth Dimension arc from the Scott Snyder Justice League run, because that has Batman taking on the Justice League. And that story is very interesting because it gives us Superman with prep time. Like, oh yeah, Batman could take on Superman with prep time. Yeah, what if Superman gets prep time? Because if Superman is given an opportunity to just briefly dip in the sun and get the power boost, he can punch the universe in half. No. Actually, no. I said punch the universe in half. The climax of that story is the World Forger is about to destroy and recreate the universe, and then Superman gets a little charge from a sun, and then just charges at him faster than the speed of light, punches him hard enough to not only defeat him, but you see reality cracking around them, portals to other universes opening because Superman punched a dude so hard. So, like, yeah, Batman. Ooh, give Batman 10 minutes of prep time. Ooh, he can get his kryptonite ring that he always uses. Yeah, if you give Superman the same 10 minutes, Superman can kill everyone in the universe by snapping his fingers. Superman is so cartoonishly busted in the comics. Ugh. Just so many of the plans are dumb. Like, I think... No, the dumbest one is from the original Tower of Babel, where it's listed how he would take out the reserve members of the Justice League, and his plan for Rocket Red, who's a C-list hero. He's basically DC equivalent of Iron Man, except he's Russian, and Batman's plan is how I will take out someone who's basically Iron Man. I'll just wing it. I don't need a plan. Russian Red. I can take on Russian Red. Yeah, Batman. Ooh, he's got plans for every superhero. It's just dumb. I'm spoiling this video, but it's dumb. That's going to be a good video I'm going to do yesterday. And I also... So one thing I do for my job is I write a historical column. And it's like BuzzFeed quality articles. It's not like super deep and insightful. It's short articles about weird things in history that I research things and then I write about them for a newspaper. And these are stories that you have seen online, but the elderly readership of the paper I work for haven't. Like, I can say, oh yeah, like the Australian Emu War, and like, ooh, I'm the cool guy who's telling them something they've never heard about. But anyway, one thing I wrote about once, because originally the column was, it was an Iowa history column until I ran out of Iowa history because I'm based in Iowa. one of the things I wrote about was Riverside, Iowa, which is a town 45 minutes from where I live. Tiny, tiny town has a Star Trek museum, and they're officially, canonically, in Star Trek, the hometown of James T. Kirk. So I wrote a column about that last year. Also, worth noting, Riverside, Iowa is not the hometown of James T. Kirk. He, like, in Star Trek 2009, it's shown he was born in space. He grew up in Riverside, but they say the future birthplace of James T. Kirk. But Kirk, not born in Riverside. Your sign is wrong. Also, it has the wrong date. One point was, I discovered there was a show called Invasion Iowa that was one of those crappy, crappy reality TV shows. Because it was the early 2000s, and reality TV was just the worst thing imaginable. And in this did I already get the razor claw? In this reality TV, the idea was that that douchebag, that douchebag, what's his name? William Shatner goes to Iowa and pretends to film a bad movie, and everyone just assumes that he's being a douche. Like, he acts like a douchebag, and the movie looks bad, but everyone just assumes that it's real because he's Shatner. He's a hack. He's a hack. Uh, and I'd like to. I'll watch that. I'll watch that and maybe do a video essay on it. Maybe also another idea for a video essay is to do something on Wayside School, because I liked those books as a kid and they were weird as fuck. Just a deep dive, like recapping all the plots of the Wayside School books and all the weird stuff. Like, I remember that, like, 419 stuff was absolutely fucking terrifying. Probably the scariest shit I've ever seen. Cyrus is giving a speech about how he's going to destroy the universe because he hates emotion or whatever. He's a kind of dumb villain. And all of his minions are stupid. How did all the galactic runts exit without seeing us? Because we are not in uniform. I don't know. So what else have I been watching? I've been watching Rick and Morty as it comes out, and I've been enjoying the season. It's been a solid season of Rick and Morty. The spaghetti episode was... I really liked the spaghetti episode, but also that one was, like... Man, I don't even know what to think about the spaghetti episode. It had a lot of really interesting things to say, and was very funny just how this situation keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And, let's see, the first episode was, it was Mr. Poopy Butthole Adventures, and I didn't think it was especially great, but it was fine. And then the second one was Rick and Jerry get turned into two dudes who are both Rick and Jerry, and they become friends, and that one was decent. And I really liked the spaghetti one, and the Wong one was pretty good. And this last episode, yes, Rick and Evil Morty versus Rick Prime. And I'm spoiling this shit, but at the end, Rick gets his revenge and feels empty, like, that's some good stuff. I love stories where characters are just completely dedicated to getting revenge, and then they get it and feel empty. What's the show gonna do next? Who fucking knows? I don't know. And I don't really notice the voice actors very much. They're very, very good impressionists of Justin Roiland. I struggle to notice most of the time, and I feel like a lot of people who don't know that there was a change will not notice anything's different. Okay. Oh, don't toxic me. I don't want to run back downstairs to heal. Let's see, I started playing Persona 4 tonight, because I really like Persona 5. I was going to do Persona 3, but then I found out that the version that I bought when it was on a very cheap sale on the eShop, because I mostly play Switch, I don't have PS5 or... Never mind. No, I was going to play Persona 3, but then I found out, wait, you mean this is the version that cut out all the cutscenes, and cut out the epilogue, and cut out, like that's the version that has less content? Oh, I don't want to play that. I want to play the definitive edition. Persona 3 FES or whatever it's called. Festival. Yeah, I want to play that one, not the portable version that cuts a bunch of stuff out. And also I found out that, oh, by the way, you don't even attempt to get max social links in Persona 3 because the game doesn't want you to. Like, and that's like, no, I want to, get the content of this game that I'm playing. I don't want to have to do multiple playthroughs to get basic stuff. And, like, I don't know. I don't know, but I started playing Persona 4, and the starts of these games are so slow. Like, I'm invested in that small town murder mystery Persona story. I think Teddy, 2 hours in, and Teddy is the most annoying character on the planet who I hope dies horribly. But I've been enjoying it. I'm really excited. I want the game to open up so I can play Persona, which is at its core about micromanaging your time so you can date 7 girls at once and then get beaten to a bloody pulp over that. That is the core of the Persona gameplay, and it is what I enjoy. Okay, let's go up. And does this bring me to... Yes, it does. Hello, Cyrus. I'm gonna kick your ass. Like, isn't the Razor Claw in here? I'm checking. Right-hand side of Cyrus's office hidden. Okay, it's a good thing I checked because I didn't know it was hidden. Okay, and... Oh, wait. I just realized I probably should have switched my team around. What does he lead with? Does he lead with his Sneasel? Because that will be bad. Or is it, can I outspeed Sneasel with my Staraptor? I don't know. Depends on the level it is. Yes, yes, pity and compassion, and you're so edgy and deep, Cyrus. Ooh, such a smart guy, Cyrus Galactic. I think. Oh, you're not even going for Ice Punch, so like my being risky so I can get the close combat kill, it doesn't even matter because I was never in any danger anyway. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. He's got Crobat now. How... Hey, Cyrus doesn't have compassion. How do you have a friendship evolution, Cyrus? Huh? Huh? What do you mean? Oh, this is the Diamond and Pearl one. They go an upgrade team. Eh... Yeah, I can tank a bite. Actually, no, I've got a new... You don't know any physical ice moves. That's disappointing. Okay, let's take out Crobat, and then there's a fight against Saturn, who is weaker than Cyrus after the fight against Cyrus. It's weird and kind of lame. Okay, yes, bite, yes, but I've got extra sensory. Let's see. So yeah, I've been reading a bunch of Batman comics for this project, and I gotta say, I read was it Forever Evil, and I'm like, wow, that was such a good story. Like the whole concept of it is the Justice League gets taken out by an evil alternate universe version of the Justice League, so it falls to Lex Luthor and a team of supervillains to save the world because they don't want the world ruled by an evil version of the Justice League. Like Captain Cold's there because they tried to destroy Central City, and he's a thief, not a murderer. And Black Adam's there because they tried to take over his home country, and Black Manta's there because they fucking killed Aquaman. I want to kill Aquaman. They stole my murder of Aquaman. Those fuckers. I'm going to kill them now. I'm gonna fucking stab them. But no, it's it's just a really good Lex Luthor story. Like the stuff between Lex and right side of office. Hold on, I'm gonna get the dowsing machine. There's a bunch of really nice stuff with Lex and Bizarro because it introduced Bizarro to the New 52 continuity. Lex creates him, and it's supposed to be a perfect clone of Superman, but he's underbaked. But Lex has no choice but to unleash him early. And like throughout the whole story, Lex is just like mildly annoyed with Bizarro being dumb. But there's a really nice scene with them where Lex talks to Bizarro about the death of his sister and the guilt he feels over it, and how it makes him feel weak and powerless, and he never wants to feel weak and afraid and powerless again. And then at the end of the story, it's revealed that Lex just fucking made that story up. It's not a real story. Lex is just a lying asshole who was manipulating Bizarro. But at the same time, Lex does care for Bizarro. He gets absolutely furious when Bizarro dies. And, like, one of his guys is like, Lex is just a monster, but he was my monster! And uh, Bizarro's killer is alternate universe Lex, Alexander Luthor, and Lex just fucking kicks his ass to avenge Bizarro. And actually, maybe Lex should be the one coming up with plans to defeat the Justice League, because Lex's plan is very good, where he has a lightning rod and he just fucking stabs it into evil. For context, evil Lex. Let me rephrase that. Other evil Lex, Alexander, he has stolen Shazam's powers so he can do the Shazam lightning thing. So Lex realizes, wait a minute, you have the same vocal cords as me. I'm just gonna shout Shazam and you lost your powers and now I can beat you to death. And he like stabs in a lightning bolt to ensure a lightning rod to ensure the lightning bolt hits evil Shazam Lex. And it's just overall a good story. But it does tie into the fact that what I've been saying, the Batman sucks at coming up with plans to kill the Justice League. He goes up against Power Ring, who is evil alternate universe Hal Jordan, who has exact same powers, exact same strengths and weaknesses, and Batman's plan for him is, ooh, I stole one of Sinistra's rings. That'll allow me to beat Green Lantern. And what? What are you talking about, Batman? Ooh, my plan to defeat Green Lantern is to copy the powers of the guy who Green Lantern every fucking day of the week kicks this man's ass. Like, ooh, you know Sinestro who never want to fucking fight against Hal? Well, if I'm Sinestro but with less practice, I'll be able to beat Hal. What do you mean I got my ass kicked? Like, and the ring breaks instantly because it doesn't have any charge, but it does end up saving Batman because Sinestro shows up like, hey, who the fuck stole my ring? And then he says, oh, that guy looks like Hal Jordan. I'm gonna murder him. And I'm explaining things poorly. I'll do a more eloquent one in my video essay next year. But it'll be good. It'll be good video on Batman. And it'll be sort of like a testing the waters, a practice for next year's big video essay, which I'm gonna hope for September of 2024, which will be the politics of Batman, going over every single Batman film, the animated series, and The Dark Knight Returns. Oh god! Another story I had to read for this project was, it was The Dark Knight Strikes Again. And I think The Dark Knight Returns is a flawed but good story. I think Frank Miller, before he became just Islamophobic, genocidal jackass, was a good writer. Unfortunately, Batman The Dark Knight Strikes Back is after he forgot how to write anything, and as such, it is unfathomably bad. It is one of the worst comics I have ever read. Like, I think the writing is just as bad. It's the writing's slightly better than All-Star Batman and Robin, but at the same time, it has the undisputed worst art I have ever seen in a comic book. It is hideously, hilariously ugly. Like, there's a panel where Batman is beating up Lex Luthor, and it shows Batman kicking Lex Luthor, and somehow they forgot to draw Batman's torso. Frank Miller forgot that Batman has a torso. He just had like a head and then a leg coming out of it. It's the greatest comic panel ever made. It is a masterpiece of comic book artwork. I take back every negative thing I ever said about Frank. Well, actually, I don't, because the man is, like I said, horrifically racist. But he was so bad at drawing that it's hilarious. Oh shit, you're not gonna miss next turn, Magnemite. That's bad for me. Unless I feint attack you, and I'm just going to evolve Brushin into Weavile. And then I'm going to end this, and then Spear Pillar next time. Yay. And then, oh god. Not the distortion. I hate the distortion. It's a cool concept, and it looks amazing, but it's just awful to navigate. I hate going through the distortion world every time I play this game. But that'll be next time. So let's just do some quick work and get some good experience. Let's go versus Seeker, a trainer down here. Yes. Oh, and Thanksgiving's next week, so I'll probably. And next week's Nuzlocke vlog will probably come out on Saturday, would be my guess, because of Thanksgiving. Uh, it's a holiday where I hang out with my family and eat a big meal and get a day off of work, so I like it. And talking about my historical column, hey, what's the story of Thanksgiving? Like, I mean, I know there's a story there. I know it's probably whitewashed and not as friendly in real life. Like, oh wow, this is such a nice, heartwarming story of two peoples coming together and sharing a meal. And do not look at anything that happened afterwards. Holy crap! Do not look at don't look up King Philip's war. Don't look up the fact that the Wampanoag were decim. Oh, what's the right word I want to use for this? All but to like population reduced to only 400, and big chunk of them sold into slavery just a generation later. Like, yeah, Thanksgiving was a nice story. The stuff that came after and the stuff that came first, like, because one of the main guys behind the Thanksgiving festivities, like Disquantum, was sold into slavery. And, like, he comes back after years in captivity and he finds his village, everyone he know, dead, killed by plague. Entire village wiped off the face of the map by European diseases. And then, like a year later, these fuckers from England show up and they're like, ooh, these ruins of where a bunch of people died. This will be a new colony. And then, you know, he teaches them not to die and they have a feast. And then eventually he tries to get them to kill other Native Americans so he can secure. It's a whole interesting story. Research Thanksgiving sometime.